My name is Mike. I'm a mechanic for 30 years. I got a shop and I got a lift, but I have more miles on me than most of the cars I work on. I'm also sober and I do jujitsu 4 or 5 times a week. I'm 57. My body has its opinions about all of this. I got into cars at a young age. My first real job was in the Marine Corps as a CH-46 mechanic, which morphed into becoming a crew chief. It's the best time of my life. 30 years later, same grease, same skin knuckles, different shop. For a long time I drank, nothing dramatic. I wasn't falling through the windows or anything, just consistently taking the edge off every day for years, which sounds relaxing until you realize the edge is actually load-bearing. I wasn't a mess, just a slightly blurry version of myself for about a decade. Functioning, capable, present enough, just not actually there. It crept up on me. That's the thing nobody tells you. There's no movie moment, no intervention with sad music. You just wake up one day and do the math, and the math doesn't work. I looked at what I was putting in and what I was getting out, and I thought I wouldn't let a customer's car run like this, so I stopped. Here's how I did it. No program, no therapist, no 28-day facility, just me, some books, and a lot of YouTube videos at midnight, which is either inspiring or a little sad, depending on how you look at it. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm a mechanic. So you can call me Dr. Mechanic. Take this for what it is. What worked for me and what I've seen work for guys like me. 3 things that actually helped. The first way, get curious before you get serious. The first thing I did wasn't quit, it was read. I started consuming everything I could find about what alcohol actually does to your body. Not the scary stuff, just the mechanics of it. How it affects sleep, how it affects testosterone, and how it affects your brain chemistry over time. I'm a mechanic. You show me how something works, and I start understanding why it's broken. Once I understood what actually happened under the hood, the decision got a lot easier. The book that changed everything for me was This Naked Mind by Annie Grace. She doesn't tell you to quit, she just explains the mechanism. By the end, you've talked yourself out of it, which for a stubborn guy who doesn't like being told what to do, that approach works a lot better than someone pointing a finger at me. YouTube channels on sobriety help too. Guys just talking honestly about their experience, no drama, no rock bottom stories, just here's what changed when I stopped. That's actually why I'm making this channel. I needed that guy when I was figuring it out. Maybe you do too. The second way, replace the ritual, not just the substance. Here's what nobody tells you about quitting drinking. It's not the alcohol you miss, it's the ritual. 5 o'clock, day's done, cold one in the hand, that moment of permission to decompress. If you just remove that and replace it with nothing, you last about 2 weeks before you're back at it. I replaced the ritual first. Same time, same chair, different drink. Sparkling water, coffee, whatever. Sounds stupid, but it works anyway. When I found jujitsu, which replaced the whole evening with preparing for a 6 a.m. class, like going to bed early, you can't think about drinking when someone is trying to choke you out. Turns out that's therapeutic. The point is, find your replacement before you quit, not after. Have it ready. Your brain is going to look for that slot in the day, and if there's nothing there, it will fit it with the old thing. It's like swapping a bad part. You don't pull the old one until you've got the new one in your hand. The third way, tell one person. This one I resisted the longest. I'm not a share your feelings kind of guy. It comes with the territory of the trade, I think. You fix things, you don't talk about them. But there's something that happens when you say it out loud to one person you respect. It becomes real. It has weight. You're accountable to something outside your own head. I'm not saying go to a meeting. I'm not saying post about it on the internet, although here I am. I'm just saying tell one person. A friend, a training partner, somebody, not for support necessarily, just to make it real. The guys I've seen try to quit completely in secret almost always go back to it in secret too. Nobody knows, so nobody notices, and the whole thing stays negotiable in your head. Say it out loud once and it stops being negotiable. That's it. 3 things. Get curious, replace the ritual, tell one person. It worked for me, it might work for you, might not. I'm a mechanic, not a therapist, but I fixed my own engine with those 3 things, and it's running better at 57 than it was at 47, which honestly should not be possible, and yet, Here's something I figured out on the mat that nobody told me going in. Jiu-jitsu puts you in bad spots on purpose. That's literally the curriculum. Someone bigger, someone better, someone younger gets you in a position that you don't want to be in, and your job is to figure your way out without panicking. First instinct every time is to panic. Muscle through it. Make it worse. Sound familiar? Early sobriety is the same position. You're in a bad spot. Stressed, overwhelmed, someone said the wrong thing, or the job went sideways. Or it's just a Tuesday and your brain is telling you there's a really simple solution in the fridge. The old answer was muscle through it, except muscling through it meant drinking through it, which isn't through it at all. It's just postponing the tap. In jiu-jitsu, they teach you something called framing. When you're in a bad position, you don't panic and you don't quit. You create space, small movements, you breathe. You look for the exit. That isn't obvious yet. That's exactly what sobriety taught me to do with a bad day. Don't react to the pressure immediately. Create a little space, take a breath, the exit is there. It's not just the one in your brain is pointing to first. The other thing jiu-jitsu teaches you, tapping is not losing. Tapping is information. You tap, you reset, you figure out what went wrong. You don't make that mistake again, and you figure it out. I spent years not tapping in my real life, just grinding through bad positions, making them worse. Too stubborn to admit I was stuck. Getting sober was the tap, not defeat, just, okay, this position isn't working. Reset, try something different. The guys never tap in jiu-jitsu get hurt. The guys who never tap in life do too. I know because I was one of them. First class, I got submitted by a 140-pound 22-year-old in about 45 seconds. He was very polite about it, which somehow made it worse. I went back the next morning. Here's what I didn't expect. Jiu-jitsu is the only thing I've ever done where your brain completely shuts off. Not in a checked out way, in a, if you stop paying attention, someone folds you in a half way. For a guy who spent years numbing his brain out, having something that genuinely required all of it, that was new. I'm a blue belt now, which in jiu-jitsu means I know just enough to understand how much I don't know. Honestly, not that different from being a mechanic. So this channel is three things. Cars, because I know them and I like talking about them, and somebody has to tell you when the dealership is charging you for air. Jiu-jitsu, because I'm a 57-year-old mechanic getting choked out on a regular basis, and apparently that's content now. And sobriety, not in a preachy way. I'm not here to save anybody. I'm just here to talk about what it's actually like to live this way in a trade that doesn't always make it easy. If any of that sounds like something you want to watch, subscribe. If it doesn't, no hard feelings. I've been wrong about a lot of things, mostly torque specs. Just kidding, never the torque specs. There's a new video every week. Next one is about jiu-jitsu at blue belt and what nobody actually tells you before you start. God bless, and I'll see you then.